make it go live. Okay, but should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if your case goes to trial.
Pero si renuncia a ese derecho, cualquier cosa que diga se puede tomar en su contra si el caso procede a juicio.
So please don't discuss the facts of your case.
Así que por favor no hable de los hechos del caso.
During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights.
Durante esta diligencia y cualquiera diligencia futura tendrá los siguientes derechos.
The right to the presumption of innocence.
El derecho a ser presunto inocente.
The right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors.
El derecho a que se formula una acusación formal en su contra por el gran jurado cuando se trata de delitos graves o que proceden en su contra a través de una acusación general cuando se trata de delitos menores.
The right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
El derecho a un juicio público y sin demora ante jurado.
The right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you.
El derecho a ver, a escuchar y a contrainterrogar los testigos convocados a declarar en su contra.
The right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf.
El derecho de obligar la presencia de testigos para que se declaren a su favor.
The right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense.
El derecho de dar su propio testimonio y presentar pruebas en su propia defensa.
The right to have an attorney represent you.
El derecho a un abogado que lo represente.
If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify.
Si no puede costear el servicio de un abogado, se le puede designar uno de oficio si cumple los requisitos.
Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail.
A uno de ustedes se le permitirá depositar fianzas sin restricción para que salga de la cárcel.
These bonds may be posted by cash, commercial, or property.
Se puede tramitar la fianza al depositar efectivo, tramitarlo a través de una compañía comercial de fianzas o poniendo de garantía un inmueble.
If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond and fees in cash to the sheriff's office.
Si va a depositar su fianza en efectivo, alguien tendría que entregar el total a la fianza más las tarifas administrativas a la comisaría del sheriff.
The sheriff's office will hold the cash and return it at the end of the case.
La comisaría del sheriff guardará los fondos y luego se los devolverá una vez concluido el caso.
If you use a commercial bonding company, someone will have to pay a fee to the company for their service.
Si va a utilizar una compañía comercial de fianzas, alguien tendrá que pagarle una tarifa de servicio.
The fee will not be returned.
Esa tarifa no se devuelve.
I don't know what fee will be charged, but it is usually based upon a percentage of the bond.
No sé cuál sería la tarifa que le va a cobrar, pero normalmente se basa en un porcentaje de la fianza.
Finally, if you use property to post a bond,
y por último, si usted utiliza un inmueble para tramitar su fianza,
the property would need to have a net equity at least 3 times the total amount of the bond.
La propiedad tendrá que contar con un patrimonio neto de por lo menos 3 veces lo que es el valor de la fianza.
Some of you will have special conditions on your bond that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going to certain places.
Algunos de ustedes tendrán condiciones de fianza las cuales le prohibirá tener contacto con ciertas personas o ir a ciertos lugares.
You will also be prohibited from contacting the victim while you are in jail.
También se les prohíbe tener contacto con la presunta víctima mientras está detenido en la cárcel.
If you violate the court's order, your bond will be revoked and you can remain in jail until your trial.
Si incumple esta orden judicial, su fianza quedará revocada y permanecerá detenidos en la cárcel hasta el juicio.
You could also receive additional felony charges.
También se le puede formular acusaciones mayores adicionales.
It is important to note that if someone is listed as a victim in your case, that person will not be allowed to post your bond.
Es importante saber que si alguien figura como la presunta víctima en su caso, a esa persona no se le permitirá depositar la fianza por usted.
Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail.
Algunos de ustedes tienen acusaciones las cuales yo como juez no tengo la autorización de imponerles fianza.
In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a judge of the Superior Court of Clayton County.
En este caso, una audiencia para la determinación de su fianza se señalará ante un juez superior del condado de Clayton.
And you will be informed of that date.
Y a usted se le informará de la fecha de la audiencia.
If you are currently on active probation, this court is not authorized to set bail at this time.
Si actualmente está cumpliendo una condena de libertad condicional, en ese momento no tengo la autorización de imponerles fianza.
Where the bond is appropriate in your case will be reconsidered after your probation officer has had an opportunity to consider this new arrest.
Si es apropiado imponerle fianza, esa decisión se tomará una vez que su agente de probation ha tenido la oportunidad de considerar esta nueva acusación.
The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you.
El propósito de la audiencia preliminar es para determinar si existe suficientes pruebas para que las acusaciones en su contra sigan en pie.
The standard at this stage is very low.
Lo que hay que demostrar en esa etapa judicial es muy poco.
A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime occurred.
Para que un juez determine si un caso sigue adelante en esta etapa, solamente tiene que determinar que es posible que sí se cometió el delito.
Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing.
Todos pueden renunciar a tener la audiencia preliminar.
However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing.
Sin embargo, debería consultar primero con un abogado si no está seguro si sería mejor renunciar o no la audiencia preliminar.
If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived.
Si deposita fianza para salir, la audiencia preliminar se renuncia automáticamente.
You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date.
Se le mandará notificar en la dirección que deja registrado de su próxima audiencia.
Finally, I need everyone to raise your right hand.
Si todos pueden levantar la mano derecha, por favor.
Do you swear or affirm that any statements you make during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Juran o afirman que cualquier cosa que digan durante esta audiencia será la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad, que Dios lo jura.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start with Miss Meza on the lady side, and then we'll switch over and do Mr. Garcia and then Mr. McKee, and then we'll switch back to the lady side. Miss Meza, ma'am, can you hear and understand the interpreter?
Señora Mesa, ¿puede usted oír y entender a la intérprete?
You're
Your Honor?
muted, Mr. Deputy Cox.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay, ma'am, can you hear and understand the interpreter?
Señora, ¿puede usted oír y entender a la intérprete? Yes.
Ma'am, you've been charged with one count of simple battery. I've set the bond at $4,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Señora, a usted se le acusa de una sola infracción de violencia simple. Yo le he impuesto una fianza de $4,000. Your Honor, if I may ask,
Yes.
I've lost the last part of your sentence. I've imposed a bond of $4,000. What was your last question?
Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
¿Cree usted, señora, que va a poder depositar la fianza y salir?
Sí.
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 25th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out.
Señora, se señala su audiencia preliminar para el día 25 de mayo a las 8:30 de la mañana. Pero una vez que usted deposita fianza para salir, esta audiencia se renuncia.
And you will receive a new court date in the mail.
Y luego después recibirá por correo la notificación de su próxima audiencia.
Okay.
Okay.
I have placed a stay away provision on your bond to stay away from Freddie Ruano Lopez. Do you understand that?
Yo también incluí una condición de ningún contacto en las condiciones de su fianza, que usted no tenga ningún contacto con Freddie Ruano López. ¿Entiende, señora, que no puede tener contacto con él?
Sí.
Yes.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Quisiera, señora, que yo determine si usted reúne requisitos para un abogado de oficio.
Sí.
Yes.
You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Usted sí cumple los requisitos, así que voy a nombrar un abogado para usted.
Do you have any questions of me?
Señora, ¿tiene usted alguna pregunta para mí?
Sí, tengo una. Yo tengo 2 récords por parte del señor Freddy.
I have one. I have 2 records because of Freddie. Sí, señora.
Sí, y él tengo varios correos de voz que me han amenazado, que me va a meter un balazo en la frente.
On several occasions, he has threatened me that he's going to put a bullet in my head.
Have you reported any of those threats to law enforcement?
Señor, ¿usted lo ha denunciado por esas amenazas a los agentes del orden público?
Sí, y tengo los correos de voz de él también que me ha amenazado a mí y a mis 2 bebés porque soy madre soltera.
Yes, I have reported that he has threatened me and my 2 babies because I'm a single mother.
And did you receive either a card from the police department or an incident report?
Y señora, ¿a usted le entregaron una tarjeta de presentación del cuartel de policía o un informe policial?
Tengo los 2 reportes de él y los audios también que él me ha enviado.
Y los, if the interpreter may ask her to repeat. ¿Tienen los 2 reportes de él? ¿Y qué más dijo, señora?
Los audios que él me ha enviado amenazándome.
Okay. I have the 2 reports on him, Your Honor, and also the audio messages that he has sent threatening me.
Okay, I'm going to advise you of 2 things.
Muy bien, señora. Entonces le voy a informar de 2 cosas.
First, please give that information to your lawyer.
Primero, por favor, entregue esa información a su abogado.
Okay.
Okay.
Second, ask your lawyer to convey that information to the Solicitor General's office, which is the prosecutor for your case.
Y segundo, avísale a su abogado que él tiene que informarle a la Procuraduría, que es la fiscal en el caso de usted, sobre esta información.
And I will add one additional step.
Y voy a agregar una cosa adicional.
Please contact the law enforcement officer if you have the card where you reported these incidents. Please contact that person and let them know of these present charges against you.
Por favor, comuníquese, señora, con el agente de policía si usted cuenta con la tarjeta que le dio el agente con quien hizo el informe, el reporte, para informarle de esas acusaciones que usted actualmente tiene ahora en su contra.
Sí.
Do you have any other questions, ma'am?
¿Alguna pregunta más, señora?
No solamente eso, porque también quería nomás ponerle orden de restricción a él.
No, just that, because I wanted to get a restraining order against him.
Currently, you will need to go to the Clayton County website and go to the Magistrate Court tab, and there will be information about how you can fill out a protective order.
Entonces, señora, para eso usted tendrá que ir al sitio web del condado de Clayton y tiene que pulsar en la lengüeta para el Tribunal Menor de Primera Instancia, o sea, Magistrate Court. Ahí encontrará información de cómo solicitar una orden de restricción.
Ok.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Muy bien, señora, gracias. Ya se puede retirar.
Okay, let's go to Mr. Garcia.
Vamos a pasar con el señor García.
Mr. Garcia, can you hear and understand the interpreter?
Hola, señor García, buenos días. Buenos días. ¿Puede usted oír y entender a la intérprete?
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Garcia, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery,
Señor García, a usted se le acusa de una infracción de violencia simple,
1 count of simple assault,
una infracción de agresión simple,
1 count of criminal trespass,
una infracción de invadir o hacer daños en una propiedad privada,
1 count of aggravated assault,
una infracción de agresión con agravantes,
1 count of theft by taking,
una acusación de hurto de bienes ajenos
and 1 count of simple battery, non-family violence.
y también una infracción de violencia simple que no es violencia intrafamiliar.
¿Cuándo fue eso? No. ¿De cuándo fue? ¿En qué año fue? No sé.
When was that? What year did that happen? I don't know.
Give me 1 second.
Permítame, señor, un momentico.
The warrants were signed May 10th, 2018.
Estas órdenes de arresto fueron firmadas el 10 de mayo de 2018.
And these allegations supposedly took place, or they are alleged to have taken place on May 9th of 2018.
Y se supone que esas alegaciones sucedieron el día 9 de mayo de 2018.
No sabía yo, la verdad. Bueno, sí tuve ahí un argumento con mi suegra y mi ex esposa, pero yo no sabía que la habían hablado con eso.
I didn't know, actually. I mean, I had an argument with my mother-in-law and my ex-wife, but I didn't know about this.
Y ese día yo fue el que abandoné la casa y yo no regresé con mi ex. Yo no regresé a la casa yo me fui de la casa.
I left the house and I didn't have contact with my ex.
Okay, so I've set bond on all of these offenses.
Entonces, señor, yo sí le puse fianza para cada una de esas infracciones.
Give me a moment to add up the bond amount.
Si me permite un momento, puedo calcular la cantidad, el total de la fianza.
You're going to have a total bond set at $26,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Señor, su fianza total será $26,000. ¿Piensa que va a poder depositar la fianza para salir?
Con mi mamá o alguien,
I'd have to talk with my mom or with someone.
Okay, there are going to be stay away provisions on this bond to stay away from Rolando Moreno.
Did you say Rolando Moreno, Your Honor?
V as in Victor, IOLANDA.
Oh, okay, thank you, Your Honor. Where's there another person that was named?
There's going to be 4 other people.
Okay,
So,
entonces, señor, usted tiene una condición de fianza de ningún contacto con las siguientes personas. Violanda Moreno. Yes,
Maria de Jesus Moreno.
María de Jesús Moreno.
Alberto Garcia Jr.
Alberto García Jr. Hijo.
Valeria Garcia.
Valeria García.
And Maribel Garcia.
Y Maribel García.
Do you understand that, sir?
¿Entiende eso, señor? Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 26th at 8:30 in the morning.
Señor, su audiencia preliminar se señala para el día 26 de mayo a las 8:30 de la mañana.
That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail.
Pero esta audiencia se renuncia una vez que usted deposita fianza para salir y le llegará por correo la notificación de su próxima audiencia. Thank you.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Quisiera que yo determine si usted reúne requisitos para un abogado de oficio, señor.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Señor, usted sí cumple los requisitos, así que voy a nombrar un abogado de oficio para usted.
Do you have any questions of me?
¿Alguna pregunta tiene para mí usted, señor?
No.
No.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back.
Muy bien, señor, ya se puede retirar. Gracias.
Thank you, Ms. Tolles.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
You too. Mr. Arca.
Morning,
We're ready
Judge.
for Mr. McKee. Mr. McKee, as you've seen, I normally would speak to you directly, but in this case, you've hired a lawyer, Mr. Arca, to be your representative. So I'm going to speak to him as it relates to the charges that are being alleged against you. I need you to understand that anything you say during this proceeding is not private. So don't say anything that you don't want the whole world to know. Do you understand that? Okay, Mr. Arca, Mr. McKee has been charged in 3 warrants that were taken out by, looks like an Officer Gregory, and they allege battery, cruelty to children in 3rd degree, and reckless conduct. I preliminarily set a total bond at $9,000 with the stay away provision to stay away from a Chelsea Weeks. But I'll listen to you, Mr. Arca, as to anything you want to inform the court about your client as it relates to bond.
Yes, Judge. As I stated earlier, prior to Ms. McKee appearing, his father had just hired me this morning to go and represent him. Mr. McKee is 26 years old, Judge. He has no prior record. This is the first incident he's had with law enforcement. He currently lives with his father in Grantville, Georgia, which is just south of the Union, Judge. So he is a local individual. His education, he's a junior in college at Clayton State. With regards to his employment, he works in Palmetto, currently unpackaging trucks. As I stated earlier, Judge, I have not had an opportunity to speak with Mr. McGee, but this is all information that I've gotten from his father. With regards to the victim in this case, is Chelsea. Apparently that's the child's mother, their child together, who's 2 years old. Judge, due to the lack of prior criminal history and the fact that he is employed and has an education, I have no issue with the stay away order with Chelsea. My bigger concern and question, Judge, is his parents are working people, people of modest means. If it would be possible to go ahead and reduce the bond down to $5,000, they didn't have everything to go ahead and pay me today, Judge. I'm doing a little bit of help here. If we can reduce it down to $5,000 with a stay away order, I'm sure Mr. McGee will go ahead and comply, especially since his father and I have had a very lengthy discussion as to the fact that he will reside with his father in Grantville upon release. So I don't see that he's a flight risk. He's got no prior record. He's not a threat to the community. With regards to the victim, I think that's an easy fix with a stay away order, which he will go ahead and adhere to, which his father has assured me that he will stay away from her. Judge, based on those facts, I just ask that the bond be lowered just a little bit so he can go ahead and bond out and get back to work and not lose his job.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Arca. My biggest concern is the allegation that there was essentially a gunfight that took place.
Judge, I did not know these facts. These are all new to me.
I can I can read it to you real quick, Mr. Arca, so that you can get an understanding.
Please, Judge.
So the allegation is that Mr. McKee, it says his ex-baby mother, but Miss Weeks, at a predetermined location in front of 7207 Bentley Crossing, Atlanta, Georgia. Miss Weeks advised the accused was to turn over their juvenile daughter, Amani McKee, to her, but got upset when she was running late. The accused then spit in the face of Miss Weeks, and the accused attempted to leave. But Miss Weeks' vehicle was blocking his exit. Miss Weeks stated she called 911 and while on the phone with them, that Mr. McKee allegedly pushed her to the ground in front of their daughter. Miss Weeks stated that once she fell to the ground, there were unknown male subjects standing outside of Building 8 and witnessed the accused pushing her to the ground. Ms. Weeks stated that one of the male subjects yelled out to the accused, stating that was a B move. Weeks stated the unknown male subject took to her defense, and both the male subject and the accused got into an exchange of words, started arguing, at which time the accused stated, "What you said," while entering his black and colored Dodge Challenger and reached down on the floorboard for his firearm. Ms. Weeks stated she observed the accused reach down on the driver's side and pull up in his hand a firearm, which he then pointed the firearm at the unknown subject. She stated the unknown male subject also furnished a weapon, and both parties had a shootout in the presence of herself and her juvenile daughter and a witness. Ms. Weeks stated the witness was a Miss Arrington, who lives in the building, came outside due to the prior commotion between her and the accused. Ms. Weeks stated that Arrington grabbed her and her baby to safety during the shootout. Ms. Arrington advised she was afraid for her life and thought they were all going to be killed outside the building. Ms. Arrington stated she heard the accused and Weeks fighting outside, and once she observed it was becoming heated between the accused and the male observer, she came down to get Ms. Weeks and the baby away from the situation. Ms. Arrington stated she observed the accused grabbing a gun and pointing towards the unknown male observer, at which time both parties started shooting at each other in the imminent presence of herself. Ms. Weeks and the juvenile Arrington advised a few shots were exchanged between both parties. Then the accused jumped into his aforementioned vehicle and left the scene, while the other two witnesses and victims ran off on foot. The scene was photographed and 12 shell casings were collected and processed into evidence by the police officer that responded. So I don't think this is a situation of reducing this down.
Judge. Then we'll go ahead and stay at 9,000, Judge.
Okay.
With the stay away condition.
Okay. And I don't know if there's going to be further investigation into this, but as you can understand, if there's further investigation, there could be additional charges brought against Mr. McKee.
Understood. We'll go ahead and stay with the 9,000 with the stay away order, Judge.
Okay. Is there anything else, Mr. Arca?
No, not at this time, Judge. Is there an order that I need to do, or will it just be set and sent to the jail?
No, I have a order that's, well, it disappears on Zoom, but I have an order that's printed out. And just so you understand the process, I will fill out the paperwork at the end of this hearing, and then I send it over to the Sheriff's Department today, and then they process everything in.
I appreciate that, Judge.
Okay. Anything else?
Thank you very much. No, Judge.
Okay.
Can I be excused at this time?
Yes, sir. You're excused, and Mr. McKee, you're free to go back.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Have a great weekend, Judge.
You too. Okay, let's switch back over to the ladies' side.
Yes, sir. The first email we have is Miss Bracewell. Braswell, I'm sorry.
Okay, ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of theft by shoplifting, but it's being inputted as a felony because you have apparently 4 prior convictions and 1 count of giving a false name, address, or date of birth. I've set a total bond at $7,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
How much is that? 7,000.
It'll roughly be about
800.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I can't.
Yes, ma'am. But you will have to contact the bonding companies directly, and they will tell you exactly what fee they will charge.
Okay, and on that. Oh,
Let him finish.
okay. Go ahead.
Ask
Finish.
questions.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 26th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Now, do you have any questions of me?
Yes, sir. On the charge of giving a false information, I was nervous, and my date of birth is December 28th, 65. I wrote down 22nd, and that was not, that was totally and I haven't been in trouble in 20 years. I had, my son got murdered, and I just flipped. I'm sorry.
Okay, so ma'am, that's something that you should tell your lawyer, because your lawyer may be able to negotiate that charge to where it's dismissed. Any other questions, ma'am?
No, thank you very much.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
How much is it?
7,000. Next is Ms. Foreman. Ms. Freeman.
Okay, Ms. Freeman, you've been charged with 1 count of driving under the influence, 1 count of reckless conduct, and 1 count of affray, which is essentially fighting in public. You're gonna have a total bond set at $5,000. Can you post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 25th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Next is Ms. Hicks. Ms. Hicks. Put your hand at your pants, man.
Okay, Ms. Hicks, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. The bond is going to be set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Speak up. He asked you, do you believe you can post the bond?
Okay, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 25th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and then you will get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, are you going to represent yourself, ma'am?
No.
I'm sorry, did she say yes?
You gotta speak up so he can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, if you don't have any questions of me, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Next is Ms. Jones.
Ms. Jones, you're charged with 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, and 1 count of criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree. You're gonna have a total bond set at $12,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's gonna be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Rodriguez Copeland. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 26th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Next is Ms. Julian.
Miss Julian, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, 1 count of obstructing an officer, and 1 count of an open container violation. I've set a total bond for these 3 offenses at $1,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I don't know, sir.
Okay, would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Okay, yeah.
If you do qualify, ma'am, I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Let me ask you a question, and you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to, okay? It will not be held against you. There's an allegation that you and another individual were living in a bus. Is that true?
I usually live on the street by the back of the pharmacy and Woods. And I have my husband, and he usually used to live with me. And he opened the door today. And I usually, if there's the evicted bus, it never removed. It never removed. It's just Jesus always do work to the cars. And after that, I was like always sleep over there. You know, Jesus always take care of thing on the bus, and I just lay down. And then it's a evicted bus.
Okay, I'm going to dismiss the open container charge. So you're going to have a total bond set at $1,000. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 25th. But that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail.
May 25th, what did I do? Every year I gotta go to jail every day.
If
It's always the same thing, homeless, because I'm like an older woman and I'm always in the street. And everywhere I go to the Clinton County, to the store, I never cannot go there. Y'all always put me out.
Okay, what I'm going to do, ma'am, I'm going to make a notation on the form where I'm appointing a lawyer that the lawyer needs to look into this.
Yes.
Okay, so if you're unable to bond out, the lawyer will probably be able to work with the prosecutor as it relates to these charges because there appear to be some extenuating circumstances in your case. So if you don't have any questions of me, ma'am, you're free to go back, but please make sure you tell everything you just told me to the lawyer, okay?
Yeah, because we've been living in Clinton County so long, and me and my children, and I have 7 children, and I've been living in Clinton County and Tower Boulevard for years and years, and they keep putting me out when I go to the store. I cannot go to the store. I cannot buy me a beer. I cannot buy me a water. I cannot do nothing, and I don't know what happened.
Okay, I understand. You're free to go back, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next is last name spelling Ngubane.
Okay.
You can go back.
Ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of theft of services. The bond is automatically set at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yeah.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 25th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No,
You're going to hire your own lawyer?
I didn't do anything. I'm gonna pay the bond, that's it.
Okay. Well, if you don't have any questions for me, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's it for the females, Your Honor.
Okay, are you going over to the mail side?
Excuse me, ma'am, have a seat in the back.
Do you need me to give you time to go over to the mail side, or I can just start?
Mr. Stephen, you gonna be all right over there?
Yes, sir.
All right, John, you can just go ahead and start.
Okay, let's begin with Mr. Barber.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Barber. You're charged with 1 count of loitering or prowling, 1 count of obstructing an officer, 2 felony counts of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, possession with intent to distribute, and tampering with evidence. I have set bond on the 2 misdemeanors, but I am not allowed to set bond on the 4 felony charges at this point, because there's an indication that you were sentenced to 3 years probation on November 11th of 2020 in case number 20 CR 01734. Doesn't mean you can't get bond. It means I can't set it at this stage. So I've set a preliminary hearing date for you for May 26th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm also setting a bond hearing date for May 28th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. And like I said before, it's not that you can't get out, but I am prohibited by law from setting a bond here. So your lawyer may be able to work with the district attorney's office to have them consent to a bond, okay?
So will that day, sir, with my probation officer and everybody be there at the court that day and determine what they're gonna do?
It would be in your best interest to contact your probation officer, because it could be a situation where your probation officer gets notified a couple days before these hearing dates are set up. But if you reach out and let the probation officer know, then everybody would know moving forward what to do. Because theoretically, your probation officer says, oh no, Mr. Barber, he was a great probationer. He can get out. I don't have any problems. And then your lawyer can negotiate with the district attorney's office and get you out sooner. But I don't know the conditions that you've been operating under as it relates to probation.
Right now, as far as related to probation, they had me doing the weekend jail. I had 10 left, but due to my grandmama passing and everything, it kind of just threw me off on everything, and I missed 2 weekends. I have been trying to get in touch with them, so I didn't know how to go back and try to get back into the weekend jail. So I had 10 weekends to do. So
you should talk to your lawyer about that, because whatever judge that was sitting as it relates to your probation, that judge is going to be the judge that's going to make a determination as to whether they're going to allow you to get back out. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're free to go back, sir.
Excuse me, sir. How much was
Yes, sir.
How much was the bond for the misdemeanors?
It was $3,000, but you're not going to be able to get out until you have bond set on all of the new charges.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. You're free to go back. Mr. Clowers? Are you Mr. Clowers?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you've been charged with 1 count of terroristic threats. I've set the bond at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? Okay, I've placed a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Jemiah Riviera. Do you understand that?
Can I ask you something, sir?
Yes, sir.
I don't even know who that is.
So the allegation in the warrant is that she alleged that you threatened to shoot her and her family. So that's the allegation. And it said that this occurred on February 16th of this year.
It's what, May, June,
Now we're in April.
So what I'm telling you, so I don't know who this is. I don't know who Jemiah is.
No, I understand. That's why we go through this process as early as possible to appoint lawyers so that you can investigate your case. I'm sorry?
You said she made that February 16th?
The warrant was obtained on March 13th, but the allegation is that on February 16th, you made this threat to her. Okay, so, and the thing is, you're not guilty or innocent right now. These are just mere allegations. So by me telling you that, hey, they said this occurred on February 16th, you know, you need to start thinking about where you were on February 16th so that you can tell your lawyer, hey, I was at the gas station on this day. I wasn't anywhere near, it said 372 2nd Street, Forest Park. I wasn't anywhere near that. I got video that I was someplace else, okay? Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 25th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. But you need to understand the allegation is that on February 16th at this 2nd Street address in Forest Park that you made some kind of threat. So
I'm saying I don't even know. I've never even been to 372. I don't know who live right. I don't know who that is. I'm trying to tell you. I don't know Jemiah.
Which is fine. You don't have to know the person that's making an allegation against you to defend yourself, okay? Because I can bop you over the head and take your wallet and you don't know me, right? But I still did it. Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Mr. Davis?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Davis, you're charged with 1 count of battery and 1 count of obstructing or hindering a 911 call. I've set a total bond at $7,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
Okay, I've also placed a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from a Jasmine Williamston. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir. I have a question. Like you said, 7. Like you just break it down like 6. It's like it's like really burn out. I got that money on my books right now.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it at 7 because 5 is the lowest that I set on a battery.
Okay.
And obstructing or hindering a 911 call, I think 2 is reasonable.
Okay.
Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir.
You're going to hire your own lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 25th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you have any other questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay. You're free to go back.
Say your name.
Yes, sir.
Go back to your house.
Are you Mr. Denson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Denson, you've been charged with 1 count of battery. I've set the bond at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
I've also placed a stay away provision to stay away from a Donique Woolard, D-O-N-N-E-Q-U-E, last name Woolard. Do you understand that? Did you say yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 25th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir. I have another question though. Is it possible that I can call someone today to set that bond today?
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir.
So what'll happen is when you go back downstairs, the sheriff's department, they will allow you to use the phone, but they work under their own internal policy. So it's not like you go downstairs and say, the judge said I can use the phone, but they will allow you to use the phone. I know that. So you'll be able to contact the people that you need to contact in order for you to be able to get out of jail today. Okay.
So one more question. What was the total of that $5,000 for my?
It's going to be a little bit more than 5,000. The sheriff's department is required by law to add fees to this bond, and I don't have access to the fee schedule. So I know it'll be a little bit higher than 5,000, but it won't be like 10,000. It'll be maybe 5,500 or something like that.
Okay. So do I have to pay 10%, 10% of it, or do I have to pay the actual full out amount?
If you have the full out amount, you can pay that and you'll get that money back when your case is over. If you don't, you can go through a bonding company where you pay a percentage, but the bonding company gets to keep that fee. Okay. So I don't know what exactly fee they will charge, the exact fee, but you need to contact the bonding companies, tell them your charge and your bond amount, and then they'll tell you what they'll charge.
Okay, and okay. So how can I receive the information?
You're going to get a list of the bonding companies that are authorized to write bonds here in Clayton County. And I would encourage you to contact each and every one of them because they're business and they're competitive and their job is to get people out of jail.
All right.
Anything else?
No, sir, that'll be all.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Denson.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Ellison?
Yes. On this way.
Mr. Ellison, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. I've set the bond at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
That's $200, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, let me see. I have over 100 on my books, and I have to use a machine to get the other 100, but I could do it.
Okay, there's also going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from 5390 Riverdale Road. Do you understand that? Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 25th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Well, I need one and would. Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Ellison. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Well, I mean, if I could see about, who would I go to about bonding out now?
You will get a list from the sheriff's department of bonding companies that are authorized to write bails here in this county, and you can call those bonding companies. Or you can call family and friends or anyone else that can assist you in getting out.
Right. Now you were saying today that $200, that gets me out, right?
Yes, sir. And it's going to be roughly that. It's going to be a little bit higher than that. And I don't know the exact amount because 2 things. 1, the sheriff's department is required to add fees. So it'll be a little bit more than $2,000. 2, bonding companies, they vary on their fee rate, what they charge. One company may tell you 150, another company may tell you 200. So that's why I encourage people to contact the bonding companies, tell them your charge, tell them your bond amount, and they will tell you exactly what they will charge you. Okay?
Okay, and I can talk with somebody here about.
Yes, sir. They will assist you.
Okay, that'll be good, man.
Okay. All right, sir. You're free to go back. Okay. Mr. Flannery?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Flannery, you've been charged with 1 count of family violence battery in the 2nd degree. And that is listed as a felony. So the bond is going to be $10,000 for that. And not second degree, but second offense. You're going to be charged with simple battery, family violence. Bond is going to be set at $5,000 for that. Criminal damage or criminal trespass, damage to property. Bond is going to be set at $2,000. And theft by taking, the bond is going to be set at $2,000. So you're going to have a total bond set at $19,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Maybe, I'm not sure. I'll talk to my people.
Okay, there's going to be a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from Alexis Wilson. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 26th at 8:30 in the morning because this family violence battery with the second offense is charged as a felony. But that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Flannery. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
Yes, sir. Is the other simple battery a felony? Like, or is only one? Do you only have one?
The battery is the felony.
I got two batteries.
Yes, and let me look back at each one to be certain of the information I'm giving you. So the theft by taking is listed as a misdemeanor. The criminal trespass is listed as a misdemeanor. The family violence battery is listed as a felony.
So two felonies, two misdemeanors?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay. All right, sir, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Are you Mr. Flynn?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Flynn, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery and 1 count of terroristic threats. I've dismissed the terroristic threats or acts charge, but this simple battery, you're going to have a bond set at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I'm sure.
Okay, there's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Hadley Lawrence. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Flynn. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 25th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you have any questions of me?
I'm at a group now, so I don't know how I'm gonna be able to stay away from him because he works for everybody.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I'm at a group home, so he's gonna be around, so how am I gonna be able to do that? He works for everybody. You want me to tell him to put another staff on me or something?
No, so because this is an allegation of you getting in a fight with a person where you're in the same space, we place stay away provisions on that because we don't want whatever happened that led to your appearing before me today to reoccur tonight, okay? The group home setting makes it tough. And I'm not saying that this is gonna be a simple thing. I don't know the policies as it relates to the group home. What I do know is that if you are living in that space and you have this stay away provision, they may decide that they want you to leave. Okay? And that's something that is out of my control. Okay?
I'm fine with leaving.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
5,000, right?
I'm sorry. Yes, sir. 5,000. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are you Mr. Jackson?
No, sir.
Tell me your name.
Mr. Muhammad?
Okay, Mr. Muhammad, you're charged with 1 count of simple battery and 1 count of possession of less than an ounce of marijuana. I've set your total bond at $6,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's also going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Brittany Wright. Do you understand that? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 25th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You do qualify, Mr. Muhammad. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Okay, who do we have next?
Go ahead, Mr. Jackson, sir.
Okay. Mr. Jackson, you're charged with one count of criminal damage to property in the second degree and one count of simple battery. I've set your total bond at $10,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Before I answer that question, I got one question. If I say no, would it be waived? Will my preliminary, it won't be waived? All right, so yes, sir, I will.
Okay, well, so let me say this. Upon posting bond,
Yes, sir.
your preliminary hearing will be waived. Okay, so you understand that? So the fact that you can post a bond, you can sit in jail until your preliminary hearing date and have your preliminary hearing guaranteed.
On the same date that it's supposed to be on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I understand that, sir.
Okay. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Julian Butler. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Your preliminary hearing date is May 25th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. You can't, well, do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. Your lawyer can file a motion for you to have a preliminary hearing, and that's something that's at the discretion of a judge as to whether that happens or not. And you need to speak to your lawyer about that because that's generally something that's considered trial strategy. Okay, any other questions?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Jackson, you're free to go back.
Mr. Jordan.
Mr. Joyner? Sir, you've been charged with one count of battery. There's going to be a $5,000 bond set on this. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Damian Crute. Do you understand that? Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for May 25th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Are you currently working, Mr. Joyner? Did you say yes?
Yes, sir.
Approximately how much do you make either per hour or per month?
Per month.
How much do you make per month?
A lot.
Did you say not a lot?
No.
Could you give me a dollar figure, please? Okay. How much do you make per hour?
Like 1 hour.
Yeah, I mean, he's autistic, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you, Mr. Joyner. Do you have any questions of me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are free to go back.
Your Honor, next is Ortiz.
Okay. Mr. Ortiz, you've been charged with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You've been charged with 9 offenses. I cannot set a bond on the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The simple battery, I'm setting a $5,000 bond. Death by taking, a $2,000 bond. The family violence battery in the second count, I'm setting a $10,000 bond. I'm not setting a bond on the drug-related charges. I would leave that for the next judge. I'm setting a preliminary hearing date for May 26th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm also giving you a bond hearing date of May 28th at 8:30 in the morning. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Ortiz. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Good morning. Are you Mr. Tell me your name, sir? Okay, Mr. Robinson, you're charged with oh Jesus. You're charged with a number of driving related misdemeanor offenses. Speeding, failure to yield at a stop sign, fleeing from a police officer, that was actually listed as a felony. Driving with no license, obstructing an officer, and reckless driving. You're gonna have a total bond set at, give me 1 second. $8,855. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, well, I wonder what is that amount that I have to pay?
It'll roughly be close to $900 or $1,000.
And what if I had that? I had that money in my commissary. I had to put my money into the commissary machine, but I have enough money to blow myself out.
Okay, so you're gonna have to speak to the sheriff's office personnel about exactly how that works, because I don't know. But I'm certain that either through a bonding company or through the sheriff's office personnel, you'll be able to make that happen.
Like just like how I went to court, do the people on the outside know about me going to court today too?
This is being broadcast live over YouTube, so if they're watching it now, they know.
Okay. So
Or they actually can go back and look at it on YouTube.
So they should know I have a bond so they can come get me out today, right?
It's when you say they should know, that's a loaded question. They can find out the information.
Okay.
It's not being kept secret from anybody.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to use the phone or what.
You will get to use the phone when you leave this proceeding. They will allow you to use the phone, but they do it as it relates to their own internal policies. So I know you will get to use the phone today. It's just not going to be like I told the other person, gentlemen. You go downstairs and say, Judge Gardner said y'all need to let me use the phone.
Yeah.
Okay, but you will get to use the phone.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 26th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
I was trying to hire my own lawyer.
Okay. Do you have any other questions of me, Mr. Robinson?
You said 8,000 was the bond.
$8,855. It'll be a little bit more because there are fees that the sheriff's department has to add by law, and I don't have access to that fee schedule. Okay, any other questions, sir? Okay, you're free to go back.
I'll land it somewhere.
Okay, give me 1 second, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Sumlin, you've been charged with 1 count of speeding, 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, which is possession of less than an ounce of marijuana, 1 count of possession of drug-related objects, and 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property. That is a felony, and it appears to be related to the firearm. So you're gonna have a total bond that's gonna be set at $8,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 26th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
All right, you do qualify, Mr. Sumlin. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No.
Did you say no?
No.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Isaac Thomas.
Good afternoon. And you said Mr. Thomas? Mr. Thomas, you're charged with 1 count of use or possession of drug-related object and 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, which is being listed as a felony. Looks like a possession with intent as it relates to marijuana. You're gonna have a total bond set at $6,500. Do you believe you can post that bond? Did you say yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 26th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Approximately how much do you make per hour or per month?
$15 an hour.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Nah, I guess I'll talk to the lawyer. Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry.
So no, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Christopher two.
Hey, sir, let me ask you a question. I have a question related to your paperwork, and you do not have to answer this question. It will not prejudice you in any way, shape, or form. But what is your profession?
I do heat and air.
Okay. So I am going to set a bond at $4,000. The way that the warrant was written left questions in my mind, but at the same time, it makes out the basic elements of what they're charging. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 26th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay. You do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. The way that this is written tells me that there's a backstory to this, so please tell your lawyer the information. And I'm not going to ask you anything related to that because you have a right to consult with your lawyer in private about this, okay? Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Williams. Marion Williams.
Okay, Mr. Williams, you're charged with 1 count of aggravated child molestation. I cannot set a bond for this offense by law at this stage. I'm going to set a preliminary hearing date for May 26th at 8:30 in the morning, and a bond hearing date of May 28th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, sir. I already had got one.
Okay, do you know your lawyer's name?
No, sir. Only my mom will.
Okay. Well, make sure you tell your lawyer those dates, okay? All right, you're free to go back, sir.
Mr. Weston, say your name.
How you doing, Judge? It's Adolph Weston.
Okay, Mr. Weston, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, 1 count of obstructing an officer, and 1 count of an open container violation.
Yeah, that's Ms. Jean Julian. Oh, huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
Yes, you'll get to say whatever you need to say to me when I'm done, okay?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have a total bond set at $5,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
No. I wanted to talk to you. Okay.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 25th at 8:30 in the morning. If you're able to post bond, that date will be waived and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Now, what is it that you wanted to tell me, Mr. West?
I was saying, I'm related to Miss Jean Julian, the lady that you seen in court earlier previously, and you dropped her open container charge. But I wanted to tell you a little bit more as the husband.
Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna dismiss your open container charge also.
And I was trying to see if you could waive my preliminary hearing, and I'm on probation. And we really homeless, and I've been trying to find a job. Meanwhile, I was going to the Chevron, the Exxon, near that location where we were, and I would pick up things around the parking lot. I actually worked for those people where we were at that location, picking up things around the parking lot. They actually paid me $50 before. And I have a relationship with one of the daughters where she's able to call and talk to her mom right then and there on the spot. But in the meantime, I was going to the store. My wife was on a bus sleep, and I'm on probation for Family Dollar already. And I was not trying to get it. And I was just going to the store for my wife. She was asleep, and I got out of the car. I seen the sheriff pulling someone over. And as I was exiting the bus, the sheriff stopped what they were doing for the patrol, with the patrol car. And they immediately just told me to get on the ground, but they didn't even sit down, and said that I was obstruction because I was going to see my wife. I was more concerned about my wife.
Okay, give me 1 second. Stop 1 second, Mr. Weston. Did I hear you say that you wanted to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, sir.
Deputy Cox, are you in earshot?
Yes, sir.
I just emailed a clean copy of a blank waiver for Mr. Cox, Mr. Weston to sign. So Deputy Cox, if you have access to a printer, because sometimes the form that I get is kind of all jacked up.
And I was trying to see if we could get
Hold on, Mr. Weston.
Yes, sir.
You think you can do that, Mr. Cox, or do you, Deputy Cox, or do I need to send it to Sergeant Riley?
Yes, sir, I can do it.
Okay. So, Mr. Weston, when Deputy Cox is able to print out the waiver form, he's going to give it to you for you to sign, and then he's going to send it back to me. Now, the thing that you need to understand, this is not the stage for us to determine whether you are guilty or innocent or any of that kind of stuff. I'm such a low level on the totem pole as it relates to this, that anything I do can get reversed tomorrow. Okay, so I'm not the person for you to plead your case to.
Well,
hold on. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Okay, and I'm going to make a notation on the form, as I did with Miss Julian, that you may require additional services. Now, because you require additional services does not necessarily mean you're going to get it at your pace or desire. Okay, so do you feel like that you've been heard and understood?
Yes, and I would like the same thing, the way Miss Jean Julian, if you could, I just want.
You can't wait nobody.
No, not me, but I would like for him to be able to do, I'm just trying to be the husband of the relationship and really step up and give more information, more clarity of what, a little bit.
So Mr. Weston, the person that actually is going to have the responsibility of assisting both you and your wife are the lawyers that I've appointed.
Yes.
So you need to be honest and forthright with the lawyer about your circumstances and your situation so that they can advocate on your behalf with the state court, and they will help you. They are the people that actually can help you and it sticks, okay?
Yes, sir.
Because I can dismiss your charges today and the solicitor can bring it back up tomorrow. Okay?
Probation, and all I was trying to do is help out. Yes, sir. And I really appreciate you, Judge. Thanks again. I just got out of jail last month.
Okay, you're free to go back, Mr. Weston.
Thank you, sir. God bless y'all. Thank y'all.
Say your name, sir.
Mark Williams, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Williams, you're charged with one count of a red light violation, one count of possession of firearm by a convicted felon, and 2 felony drug-related offenses. I've set a total bond at $15,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
$1,500?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 26th at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Uh-oh, did it freeze?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You said yes?
No, I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yeah, but do I still get to hire a lawyer while you do that?
Yes. If I appoint a lawyer today and you're able to hire a lawyer later, just let the appointed lawyer know that you're discharging them of their duties and that you've hired a lawyer. Okay? So do you want me to see if you qualify?
That's right.
Okay, you do qualify. I'm appointing a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Williams? Okay, you're free to go back.
Mr. Ziegler, state your name, please. Yes, sir, go back there.
Bill Ziegler.
Okay. Mr. Ziegler, you're charged with aggravated assault by strangulation, simple battery, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. I'm denying the bond on the aggravated assault by strangulation because it appears that you recently had another battery-related offense. Setting bond on the simple battery at $5,000. The cruelty to children, I'm setting bond on that at $5,000 also. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Christopher N. Gardner. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 26th at 8:30 in the morning.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Can you repeat with me what you said? Because
Okay. So I am denying bond at this point on the aggravated assault by strangulation because it appears that you recently had another battery conviction in the Cobb County State Court, case number 19C29772. And now you're being charged with aggravated assault by strangulation. And it looks like you're placed on 24 months probation from that case in DeKalb County, and that you are required to complete a domestic violence intervention program and parenting class.
yeah, I already completed.
So my concern is that you've completed that, but now you're facing these new charges. And it says the aggravated assault by strangulation is involving the allegation of strangling a juvenile.
That's false.
And I understand that. I'm just letting you have a window into my reasoning behind this, so that you can at least explain that to your lawyer. So if there's somewhere, somehow I'm wrong about this, that your lawyer at least will be able to say, well, Judge Gardner based it upon this allegation from his getting a conviction in 2019 for the allegation of actually the sentence date was 2020, March 5th, 2020. Now we're just a year out from that conviction and you have new allegations. So again, you're not guilty, you're not innocent, but based upon what I see related to your criminal history and these allegations, I think that someone needs to look into this a lot more than just one day and then everything is back out, okay?
Yeah.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, Mr. Ziegler?
No.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
Your Honor, that completes the mail.
Okay, let me finish. Let me, I guess, do some housekeeping. Mr. Wright is OTB, correct?
Right, you're going to do this, Your Honor.
There is a, looks like last name Poulaille.
OTB.
Okay. Mr. Pope, is he OTB?
Mr. Pope is OTB, but he's still here because he's wanted by the jurisdiction.
Okay. All right, that was it. Thank you for your assistance and have a good day.
Okay, so you have a good weekend. See you Monday.
Okay.